Sonnet 73, which is written by William Shakespeare. And who is William Shakespeare? William Shakespeare is a very famous character in English literature, very famous poet and even a dramatist. William Shakespeare is both a poet and even a dramatist in English literature. He have written many poems, like he have written total 37 37. He have written total 37 plays and 154 sonnets. 154 sonnets also. So before knowing about William Shakespeare, let's know what sonnet is. So sonnet is a word which came from an Italian word. Sonnet is an Italian word. Sonnet is not an Italian word, but sonnet came from an Italian word, that is sonetto, meaning a little song. Sonetto means a little song. So this sonnet is a little song. A sonnet is a 14-line poem with a set rhyme scheme and meter. Okay, set rhyme scheme and meter. Sonnet is a 14-line poem which have set rhyme scheme and meter. There are two main types of sonnet. That is a Petrarchan sonnet. It is also known as Italian sonnet, which has structures of octave and sestet. Octave means 8 lines and sestet means 6 lines. As in Semester 2, William Wordsworth's poem Upon a Westminster Bridge. So this is in Shakespearean sonnet, or it is also known as English sonnet. So it has a structure of 3 quatrains, which have in each one quatrain there are 4 lines. So in 3 quatrains there are total 12 lines, and as the sonnet is of 14 lines, so there is a last final rhyming couplet which have 2 lines, that is rhyming. Okay, it is known as rhyming couplet because there are two lines. Okay, there are 2 lines, which means a couplet, but it is rhyming. Like at last it is more or thor, like strong, long. Okay, fire, expire, like this type of words are at the last of that sentence. So it is known as a rhyming couplet. 3 quatrains. In 3 quatrains, in each one quatrain, 3 quatrains means one quatrain is a paragraph. One paragraph which has 4 lines. So one paragraph which has 4 lines in a poem is known as first quatrain. Again, the second 4 lines are known as second quatrain. Third 4 lines are known as third quatrains, and last 2 lines are known as couplet, that is rhyming couplet. So Shakespearean sonnet. What is in Shakespearean sonnet? As Shakespeare do everything like very cringe things. He just do very cringe things because if the one writer has already wrote, and many of the English writers follows Italian sonnet, Petrarchan sonnet, but William Shakespeare is the one who want to create his own ideas, his own expressions, his own methods, right? So what did Shakespeare did? Sonnet was itself a very hard thing. Sonnet itself was a very hard thing to do, to make the lines match and all, and to make 14 lines, to tell all the conditions which he want to tell in all 14 lines was itself a hard thing. But Shakespeare even added more things over there. He followed many more things, making 3 quatrains which has 4 lines, and even he is changing the whole mood of the whole mood or idea of that entire work written by him in last 2 lines. So it is a very hard work for him to do. So Shakespearean sonnet is a 14-line poem written in iambic pentameter. So what is the meter of Shakespearean sonnet? Shakespearean sonnet is written in an iambic pentameter, with a specific rhyming scheme. That is, the rhyming scheme of this poem is A B C D C D E F G G. Each second line, okay, each the line after leaving one line, like first line is rhyming, then second line is not rhyming, third line is rhyming with the first one, and that second line is rhyming with the fourth one. So it follows that type of rhyming scheme. It is also known as an English sonnet. Okay, Shakespearean sonnet is also known as English sonnet and features a volta or turn in thought. So volta here is a very important word in this sonnet. Shakespearean sonnet, volta is an important feature or a word used in this one. Volta means to turn. Volta means a turn in thought, right? Which often occurs at the final couplet or just before it. In the final couplet or just before the final couplet, it occurs. Volta occurs. So the main important things is there this in the poem lines. How many lines are there in the poems? There are 14 lines in the poem. Which meter is used in this poem? Iambic pentameter. What does iambic pentameter means? Iambic pentameter means each lines have 10 syllables with 5 pairs of unstressed and stressed syllables. What is iambic pentameter means? Iambic pentameter means each lines having 10 syllables with 5 pairs of unstressed and stressed syllables. There are 5 pairs of unstressed and stressed syllables. So 5 unstressed syllables and 5 stressed syllables, like this type of pair they will make, and this is known as iambic pentameter. Stanza over here is 3 quatrains and 1 final couplet. It is also an structure or stanza, anything we can tell it. There stanza or structure is 3 quatrains and 1 final couplet. Rhyming scheme is A B C D E F G G. So what is volta now? As we told before, volta. What is volta now? Volta means turn. The volta is the point in the poem where the mood, idea or argument shifts. Volta is the point where the whole poem's mood or idea or argument, expressions, everything will be shifted, everything will be changed, it will be opposite. Okay, it will be just shifted, not opposite, but it will be shifted. If he was happy, he will be sad. If he was happy only, he will be more excited or something like that. So in a Shakespearean sonnet, the volta typically happens at the beginning of the final couplet, which often provides a resolution summary or surprising twist to the preceding 3 quatrains. Okay, it will give a resolution summary or a surprising twist to the preceding 3 quatrains. What is the division of Shakespearean sonnet? In Shakespearean sonnet का division कैसे हुआ है? Shakespeare ने 154 sonnets total लिखा हुआ है. Shakespeare wrote 154 sonnets and they are typically divided into 3 sections. Shakespeare's 154 sonnets are typically divided into 3 sections. One is Fair Youth sonnet, and second one is Dark Lady sonnet, third one is Greek sonnet. Fair Youth sonnet, total 126. First, sonnet 1, sonnet 2. He have not given the title of the poem. Okay, he has totally written 154 sonnet and it does not have a title. He have not given any title to 154 sonnets which he have written. So every sonnet number 1, sonnet 1 is the topic. Sonnet number 2 which he wrote, sonnet 2 is the topic, title. Sonnet number 3 he wrote, sonnet 3 is the title. He wrote next one, next sonnet. He is increasing the sonnets and making the sonnets one by one, and he is giving them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in that case he was giving the title of that sonnets, of that poems. So Fair Youth sonnets, okay, total 126 sonnets. First total 1 to 126 sonnets were completely dedicated to a fair youth, and it was known as Fair Youth sonnets. Here Fair Youth is addressed to a young man and deals with themes of love, beauty and passage of time. So because the first 126 sonnets, the whole 126 sonnets is addressed to a young man, how can a man address his all the sonnets, love sonnets to a man? Like, it is totally cringe, right? So what a cringe work you have done. It is like in our language, it is not a good one, right? So a boy is making his own thoughts to a boy, to a young man. Okay, he is a man. William Shakespeare is a man, right? But he have a best friend. He have his best friend who is completely unknown. He has not mentioned his best friend names. He has only told a fair young man, a fair youth, a young man. Okay, he has also told that this is addressed to a young man. So what is he trying to do? He have wrote so many love poems in 126 sonnets, and it was addressed not to a girl but a young man itself, his best friend itself. So it deals with a theme. So total 126 sonnets सब 126 सोनेट का थीम एक ही होगा, लव, ब्यूटी एंड पैसेज ऑफ टाइम. सो तीनों ये तो तीन थीम्स है, लव, ब्यूटी एंड पैसेज ऑफ टाइम. ये तीनों के तीनों थीम्स पूरे के पूरे 126 सोनेट्स पे अप्लाई होंगे. सो सोनेट 73 जो हम पढ़ने वाले उस पे उसका भी थीम यही रहेगा, क्योंकि 126 सारे के सारे सोनेट्स का थीम एक ही है. सो सोनेट 73 का थीम भी क्या हुआ, लव, ब्यूटी एंड पैसेज ऑफ टाइम. एंड ये जो सोनेट 73 वो किसके लिए लिखा गया है, वो उनके यंग मैन, यंग फ्रेंड के लिए लिखा गया है. Section number 2 is Dark Lady Sonnet. It is in England in that time. Today in this world also we are not considering that a man can be of man, right? So we are not considering this in our thought in this generation. So in that generation, William Shakespeare's generation, like it was the time of 1809, 1854 he was born, like in that ages he was born. 1770 it was his birth date, and also 1854 maybe he was born in 1854 or 1600 time, Elizabethan time. It was in time of Elizabeth. Okay, so at what time, Elizabeth's time, when Elizabeth was born, when Elizabeth was ruling this country, ruling this nation, at that time when Elizabeth was Elizabeth's ruling period was going on, at that time what was the thoughts of the people, which generation was that? Means no one can think a man can be compared to next man, a man can think of next another man, no one could think that, right? And in England, he was from England, right? So in England at that time, no dark ladies were over there. If any dark ladies, if any black colored ladies or men will come there, they will serve them as a सर्वेंट, राइट. सो मतलब इंग्लैंड में ऐसा टाइम चल रहा था, एलिजाबेथ के रूल के अंडर ऐसा टाइम चल रहा था कि इंग्लैंड में कोई डार्क लेडी के ऊपर सोनेट कैसे बना सकता है, जबकि उस वक्त क्या था कि उस वक्त मतलब जो काले लोग होते थे, ब्लैक पीपल्स होते थे, डार्क पीपल्स होते थे, उनको स्लेव की तरह ट्रीट किया जाता था, उनको स्लेव समझते थे. उनको जो गोरे हैं वो अच्छे बड़े हैं, और जो काले काले लोग होते थे उनको स्लेव बनाया जाता था, नौकर बनाया जाता था, दासी बनाया जाता था. तो उस टाइम पे एक डार्क लेडी के लिए सोनेट लिखना मतलब विलियम शेक्सपियर वाज अ पोएट who want to change this society, like right. So वो क्या थे, वो सोसाइटी को चेंज करना चाहते थे, क्योंकि सब लोग एक है, वो ये बताना चाहते थे उनके पोएम्स के थ्रू भी. और उनके पोएम्स को बहुत जगह बंद भी किया गया है, बैंड कर दिया गया था, क्योंकि डार्क लेडी के बारे में पढ़ना, एक लड़का एक लड़के से आकर्षित हो रहा है, ऐसी चीज़ें पढ़ना उस टाइम के लिए सही नहीं था. उस टाइम इन सब चीज़ों के बारे में उतना सोचा भी नहीं जाता था, जैसे अभी थोड़ा थोड़ा सोचने लगे, बट उस टाइम पे वैसा नहीं होता था. और काले लड़की मतलब कि दासी. बट उस टाइम पे किसी डार्क लेडी के लिए इतने सारे सोनेट्स डेडिकेट करना ये कोई छोटी मोटी बात नहीं थी. सो ये जो 127 से लेकर 152 इतने जो सोनेट्स है उन्होंने लिखी, वो डार्क लेडी के लिए लिखी थी, एक काली लड़की थी उसके लिए लिखी थी. सो ये पार्ट जो है, ये जो सेक्शन, ये पार्ट जो है 127 से लेकर 152 जो सोनेट्स है, ये फोकसेस ऑन अ मोर कम्प्लेक्स एंड tumultuous रिलेशनशिप विद अ वुमन डिस्क्राइब्ड एज अ डार्क लेडी. वो क्या करते हैं इस सोनेट्स में, वो एक जो डार्क लेडी करके यहाँ पे एक वुमेन को डिस्क्राइब किया जा रहा है, उसके साथ उनका जो कम्प्लेक्स रिलेशनशिप है, उस रिलेशनशिप के बारे में या इस पार्ट में फोकस किया गया है. मतलब a white man who should love a white girl or a girl like queens and all is in a relationship with a dark lady. At the time when he should treat her as a slave, he is making a relationship that is more complex and tumultuous with the women described as dark lady. So in section 3, there is a Greek sonnet, 153 and 154. The two sonnets are Greek sonnets. दिस फाइनल टू सॉनेट्स आर डिफरेंट. ये दोनों जो सॉनेट्स है वो दोनों के दोनों डिफरेंट है, क्योंकि ये अडेप्टेशन से एंशिएंट ग्रीक पोएम्स अबाउट क्यूपिड. जो क्यूपिड थे, क्यूपिड कौन है, who is Cupid. These final two sonnets are different because they are adaptations of ancient Greek poems about Cupid. जो Cupid थे, Cupid कौन थे, Cupid Greek love of God, love God थे, God of love थे. Cupid कौन थे, Greek god of love लव थे, ठीक है, प्यार के राजा थे. जैसे इन हिंदुइज्म वी थिंक राधा कृष्ण इज द लव ऑफ गॉड्स, माता सरस्वती इज द लव ऑफ एजुकेशन, इज द गॉड ऑफ एजुकेशन. सो who was Cupid in Greek? In Greeks, Cupid was the god of love. So in that ancient time, his adaptations were taken in the in two sonnets that was known as Greek sonnets written by William Shakespeare. So total 154 sonnets he have written, and we have divided his Shakespearean sonnets. So in sonnet 73, the first line of a title, the first line as a title of the poem, okay, in William Shakespeare himself did not give any title in for this poem sonnet 73, but afterwards there should be some title of the poem or any sonnets, right? Human beings thought that, some people thought that, and every sonnets from 1 to 154 sonnet, when the poem starts, it starts with any line, right? So in this poem sonnet 73, the poem is started, that time of your domest in me behold. So the first line of the poem is taken as the title of every sonnet, okay? Every first line of every sonnet is taken as the title of Shakespearean sonnets. So this sonnet 73 is written by William Shakespeare. It was published in 1609. So think which time was this that he published. He was of 1580s, maybe it was written in 1590s or 1580s. So 16th generation, 16th century. He wrote this poem in 16th century. So how dark, how bad the thoughts were at that time, during telling black people's, treating black people as blacks, ex-slaves, making them uncomfortable, right? That was not a time for a good one, for a freedom devotee. There was nothing like that. It was completely a dark society. So this sonnet 73 was published in 1609 as a part of the 154 sonnet sequence. 154 sonnet sequence is mentioned here because every sonnets are made sequentially. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 has that part he have wrote that, okay? And this sonnet 73 was published in 1609, as he had wrote it very before, okay? In 1590s only he have wrote that. So this was addressed to a fair youth, a young man to whom many of Shakespeare's sonnets are dedicated. The context of this poem is that the poet reflects on his aging. Poet क्या करता है, अपनी aging पे reflect करता है इस poem को, and mortality पे भी. He compares his own stage of life to autumn, twilight and dying fire. तो वो अपने life को किन 3 चीज़ों से compare करता है? Autumn season से, twilight से and the dying fire से. Twilight क्या है? Twilight एक ऐसा condition है. Twilight, what is twilight? Twilight एक ऐसा condition है जहाँ पे लाइक अब सन अभी अभी अस्त हुआ है, ठीक है, सन अभी अभी अस्त हुआ है, पर डार्क भी नहीं हुआ है, कम्प्लीटली डार्क भी नहीं हुआ है, कम्प्लीटली रात भी नहीं हुआ है, लाइक शाम का टाइम, शाम के टाइम को ट्वाइलाइट कहते हैं, ठीक है. तो इसका कंटेक्स्ट क्या है? अपनी लाइफ को उन्होंने किन 3 चीज़ों से कंपेयर किया है? उन्होंने 3 चीज़ों से अपनी लाइफ को कंपेयर किया है. दैट इज ऑटम, नेचर, राइट? ऑटम मीन्स नेचर, ट्वाइलाइट एंड टाइम. ट्वाइलाइट मीन्स टाइम एंड डाइंग फायर. The sonnet expresses awareness of death and the deepening of love that comes from recognizing the fleeting nature of life. So what is the theme of this poem? As we told before, passage of time and mortality is also the theme, and the inevitability of aging and death. Inevitability means cannot be changed, which is unchangeable. So aging and death is unchangeable, right? So and that is also a theme of this one, this poem. Love, strength by mortality. Love is strengthened by mortality. Awareness of death intensifies the lover's affection, decay and transience of life. Nature mirrors human decline, beauty and loss. The fading beauty of the poet enhances the depth of emotional connections. So which poetic techniques are used here? Metaphor, which shows the progression towards death. Imagery, here it creates vivid sensory pictures. Personification, in this poem it gives an abstract ideas. Alliteration, in this poem enhances musical quality. Structure, builds reflection then conclusion. Tone shift, we have already discussed a term for tone shift, that is volta, which creates emotional depth. The final couplet transforms sadness into emotional strength. And the mood and tone of the sonnet is very melancholic, reflective, yet tender and hopeful. Okay, it was melancholic, reflective. Melancholic means the poem starts in a very melancholic, very extreme sadness. With very extreme sadness, the poem starts. Okay, in a melancholic way it starts, and reflective, yet tender and hopeful also. The title is, though not titled by Shakespeare himself, the first line serves as the title. That time of year thou mayst in me behold. It means you can see in me the season of autumn, right? The late stage of life. The title thus captured the central metaphor of the poem, life as a fading season. What are the features and characteristics of this poem or a sonnet? Feature number 1. It is a Shakespearean sonnet and it is divided into 3 quatrains and a rhyming couplet and a final rhyming couplet. Feature number 2 or characteristic number 2. 3 extended metaphors. There are 3 extended metaphors. Okay. Metaphors means the comparison, but extended metaphor means it is a literary device. Extended metaphor is also a literary device where a single metaphor is developed at length, over multiple sentences, paragraphs, or even an entire work. Write a note about it. So 3 extended metaphors. First extended metaphor is autumn. It dedicates aging of the poem of the poet. Second one is twilight. It dedicates death, approaching night, right? Third one is dying fire. It dedicates the end of vitality or energy. Emotional progression, nature. What is emotional progression? Nature to time, time to death, death to love. So it will go like a flow chart. Nature, time, death, and love. What is the philosophical reflection? Acceptance of mortality is a philosophical reflection over here. Final couplet gives us with a moral realization. Love grows stronger because it is fleeting. We will get this realization at the final couplet. What is the importance of the sonnet now? Sonnet 73 is one of Shakespeare's most profound meditations on time, decay, and love. It demonstrates how awareness of mortality deepens human connection. Okay, how if the person is going to die, how much we can love, how much our connection with that particular person depends. It want to demonstrate that. It reflects the renaissance of using nature to mirror human emotion. This sonnet is a timeless reminder of how love transcends the fear of death. तो ये sonnet क्या है? एक timeless reminder है जो किस चीज़ को दर्शाता है कि मृत्यु के डर के आगे भी प्यार आगे बढ़ जाता है, प्यार काम कर बैठता है. इस बात का रिफ्लेक्शन, इस बात का क्या है, सबूत है ये पोइम. So the sonnet, English sonnet, William Shakespeare. Who is William Shakespeare? Now, who is William Shakespeare? William Shakespeare, this was published in 1609, and maybe William Shakespeare was born in something 1854 and all like that, or maybe not. We have to see that in Google. So first line. That time of year thou mayst in me behold, when yellow leaves so none of you do hang upon those boughs which shake against the cold, where ruined choirs where late the sweet birds sang. So what they mean here? That time of year thou mayst in me behold. What does this line mean? This line means you can see in me the season of autumn. What the poet is telling, you can see in me the season of autumn. ऐसा सीजन देख सकते हो तुम मुझ में जैसे कि ऑटम का सीजन. ऑटम सीजन कब आता है? विंटर से ठीक पहले. ठीक है. सो इन अक्टूबर, सितंबर के एंडिंग में, अक्टूबर में ऑटम सीजन चलता है, सितंबर के एंडिंग में भी नहीं, अक्टूबर के टाइम पे ऑटम सीजन चलता है। उसके बाद तो विंटर आ जाता है, और विंटर में क्या होता है, पतझड़ हो जाती है, पत्ते पूरे पूरे झड़ जाते हैं। स्प्रिंग सीजन में क्या होता है कि सॉरी ऑटम सीजन में क्या होता है कि जो पत्ते होते हैं पेड़ पौधों में, वो सारे पत्ते गिर जाते हैं। तो विंटर सीजन तक सारे के सारे पत्ते गिर चुके होते हैं। तो विंटर सीजन क्या डेडिकेट करता है, ह्यूमन लाइफ के लिए डेथ डेडिकेट करता है विंटर सीजन, राइट। सो स्प्रिंग सीजन क्या होता है कि डेथ आने वाली है, इस चीज़ को डेडिकेट करता है। तो उन्होंने क्या किया है, उन्होंने इसी चीज़ को कहा है, लाइक उन्होंने कहा है कि ये सीजन को कंपेयर किया है उन्होंने अपनी डेथ के साथ, कि मेरा डेथ आने वाला है, क्योंकि स्प्रिंग के जैसे ही मेरे लाइफ के भी पतझड़ होने लगे हैं, मैं भी बूढ़ा हो गया हूँ। तो ये सब वो लोग कहते हैं। It's the first question. That time of year, the mist in me behold, when yellow leaves are none of you do hang upon those walls which shake against the cold, bear wind choirs with the red sweet birds sing. So एक ऐसा टाइम है, ये एक ऐसा टाइम है कि ऑटम सीजन का ये जो टाइम है, इसमें क्या हो रहा है कि मतलब यू वांट टू टेल दैट आफ्टर दैट विंटर, ऑटम सीजन विच कम्स बिफोर विंटर, राइट। So what he tries to tell is that he is going to die. His young energy is going to be finished. His young energy is going to be finished. Here autumn is representing the end of youth and the cooling of life. Here autumn is representing the end of youth and cooling of life, because the poet himself is telling he is going to die. अब वो नहीं बचेंगे, वो ये कहना चाहते हैं। उन्होंने कहा, क्या कहा है कि जैसे पेड़ में पौधे पूरे येलो कलर के हो चुके हैं, सूख चुके हैं, येलो कलर के हो चुके हैं, और कुछ बचे हैं तो कुछ सारे के सारे गिर चुके हैं, ऐसा हुआ है। तो जब ऐसा हो रहा है तो वो टहनियाँ जो है, वो जो टहनियाँ है, वो भी ठंड के मारे मानो जैसे काँप रही हो, ठंड के मारे मानो जैसे काँप रही हो। और जब पेड़ में कुछ पत्ते बचे ही नहीं होंगे, तो जो बर्ड्स जो आते थे, बर्ड्स आके पेड़ों के पत्तों में, पेड़ों की टहनियों में बैठ के बर्ड्स गाना गाते थे। बेयर विंड चॉइस मीन्स चॉइस, और कॉर्ड्स हियर मीन्स चर्च में जो गाना गाने का जगह होता है, उसको भी कॉर्ड्स कहा जाता है। तो यहाँ पे डेडिकेट किया गया है कि पेड़ पौधों को यहाँ पे स्पेशली कॉर्ड्स कहा गया है, क्योंकि बर्ड्स जाके तो पेड़ पौधों पे ही गाना गाएंगे ना। तो क्रिश्चियंस की जैसे चर्च में गाना गाने की जगह को वो कहा जाता है, तो वैसे ही जो बर्ड्स हैं, वो बर्ड्स आके गाना गाएंगे उस पेड़ पौधों में। बट अब क्या होगा कि वो जो पेड़ पौधों में जो जान थी, पेड़ पौधों में पत्ते थे, तो बर्ड्स आके वहाँ पे बैठते थे, गाना गाते थे। बट अभी वहाँ पे बर्ड्स नहीं आते हैं, वहाँ पे गाना नहीं गाते, क्योंकि वो तो खाली है, वो पेड़ खाली है, उस पेड़ में कोई भी पत्ता ही नहीं है, वो मर चुका है वो पेड़। वैसे ही उनकी भी लाइफ एंड होने वाली है, एंड होने वाली है। जैसे ठंड आने वाला हो, ठंड आने की वजह से उनके हाथ पैर काँप रहे हो, लाइक पत्ते की टहनियाँ काँप रही है, पेड़ की टहनियाँ काँप रही है, वैसे उनके भी हाथ पैर काँपने लगे हो मे बी, राइट। सो ही इज़ गोइंग टू डाई, आई वांट टू टेल दैट ही इज़ गोइंग टू डाई, हिज यंग एनर्जी, हिज एक्टिवनेस इज गोइंग टू बी फिनिश्ड। सो इन सेकेंड क्वेश्चन वी सी, in me thou sittest, here thou, thou, thou means you, okay, thy, thigh means your, yeah. In me thou seest the twilight of such day as after sunset faded in the west, which by and by black night doth take away death's second self that seals up all in rest. So what is he telling in second quatrain is that twilight. He is mentioning twilight over here. Twilight मतलब कि शाम का time. It ends everything like that only when he sleeps in a peace or rest with no wishes left. मतलब ये ऐसा टाइम है कि सब कुछ ख़त्म हो जाता है, सब कुछ सारा का सारा सब कुछ ख़त्म हो जाता है जब वो सोता है। तो ऐसी नींद में सोता है कि वो कुछ भी नहीं सोच पाता है, राइट। जब हम सोते ट्वाइलाइट ख़त्म होती है, शाम ख़त्म होती है, अंधेरा होता है, रात होता है, तो हम लोग सोते हैं, किसी भी टेंशन को लेकर नहीं सोते, राइट। जब सोते हैं तो मंत्रमुग्ध होकर सो जाते हैं, कुछ भी नहीं सोच पाते, सो जाते, रेस्ट लेते, शांति पीस वाला फील हमें होता है। तो वैसे ही अब बहुत ही जल्द ट्वाइलाइट के बाद जैसे हम लोग शांति से सोते हैं, रात आता है, वैसे ही बहुत ही जल्द मैं भी बहुत ही गहरी नींद में सो जाऊंगा, शांति से सो जाऊंगा। मुझे पूछने वाला, मुझे कहने वाला, मैं बोलने वाला, मैं कुछ भी नहीं रहूँगा, मैं मर चुका हूँगा, वो कहना चाहते हैं वो क्या कर रहे हैं, रात को, नाइट को, ट्वाइलाइट को डेथ के साथ कंपेयर कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि डेथ इज कमिंग लाइक अ नाइट, लाइक नाइट वाज कमिंग, राइट। द डे इज फेडिंग इनटू ट्वाइलाइट और डेथ विच इज स्लोली टर्निंग इनटू द नाइट, ठीक है। तो वो क्या कहना चाहते हैं कि ये जो दिन जैसे कि शाम हो चुका है और शाम के बाद जो रात आने वाली है, वैसे ही मेरे भी लाइफ में अंधेरा आने वाला है, मैं भी मरने वाला हूँ, उसी चीज़ को वो कहते हैं। और थर्ड क्वाड्रेंट में वो कहते हैं कि in me thou seest the glowing of such fire that on the ashes of his youth doth lie, as the deathbed whereon it must expire, consumed with that what is which it was nourished by। सो थर्ड क्वार्टर में वो क्या कहते हैं कि तुम लोग देख सकते हो कि मैं अपने यंग लाइफ के एशेस में डूब के मर चुका हूँ, जैसा कि बर्निंग फायर जो होता है, जैसे कि आग जब बर्न हो रहा होता है, व्हेन द फायर इज बर्निंग, ठीक है, जब फायर बर्न हो रहा होता है, जल रहा होता है, आग जल रहा होता है, तो उसमें से जो वुडन स्टिक्स में हम आग लगाते हैं, फिर आग जलता है, राइट। बट जब वो आग बुझने वाला होता है, ठीक है, आग जलता तो नहीं रहेगा ना, एक टाइम बुझेगा ही बुझेगा, तो वो किस चीज़ में बुझेगा, वो तो राख हो जाएगा, एशेस हो जाएगा, खरानी एशेस राख में बिखर जाएगा ना। तो वो राखों के तले खुद ही अपनी आपको झोंक रहा था, खुद ही राखों के तले डूब रहा था, मर रहा था, ऐसा टाइप का, ठीक है। तो अपनी एनर्जी के में वो भी क्या हो रहे थे, मर रहे थे, उनके टाइम पे मरने का टाइम उनका आ रहा था अपनी लाइफ के उसमें। So it's just like the burning fire, which will soon be converted into ashes, it will also convert it into ash. You want to tell that? So in the third line, a dying spark of fire that is dying on its own ashes, meaning the life force is now coming to an end. You want to tell that? So at the last final couplet now, the full meaning and idea of the poem will be changed. This thou perceivest which make thy love more strong, to love that will which thou must leave ere long. So in the final couplet, what he wants to tell is that when you see me in this condition, when I am going to die, and this is the feeling which makes our love more stronger. वो कहना चाहते हैं कि ये ऐसा कंडीशन है, ये एक ऐसा कंडीशन है कि मैं मरने वाला हूँ, और तुम्हें पता है कि मैं मरने वाला हूँ, इसलिए तुम मुझसे और भी ज़्यादा प्यार करोगे, वो ये कहना चाहते हैं। यू लव समवन मोर व्हेन यू नो ही इज़ गोइंग टू डाई। तुम किसी इंसान से और भी ज़्यादा प्यार करने लगोगे जब तुम्हें पता चलेगा कि वो इंसान मरने वाला है। In Sonnet 73, Shakespeare uses 3 key images to depict his old age, and that is and the nearness of death, ठीक है। बट यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, इस कपलेट में क्या जानते हैं हम लोग कि he shows that by knowing all these things, all the above 3 things, the friend's love becomes more stronger, so that he can love more in a very less time. And this sonnet form allows the poem to present its ideas systematically in 3 parts, okay, in 3 quatrains, and to offer a powerful and emotional twist in the 2-line couplet at the end. What was the theme? Love, life, death, old age is also a theme. It was written in 1590s and published in 1609. William Shakespeare was born in 26th April 1564. William Shakespeare was born in 26th April 1564 and was died in 23rd April 1616. It was the time of Elizabethan age. He was a poet, dramatist, wrote 37 plays and 154 sonnets. Choirs means church, where songs were sing. Okay, thou means you, thee means also you, thy means your, ere means before, doth means do, and may means mayst means may. Twilight means sun has already set, but it's not completely dark. That's all.